vulnerable, and they were stewards of a sweep.
NBA playoff.
But Boston had other ideas, and they became apparent in Game 3. The unstoppable Laker factor.
All right, Dave Scholl telling like it is. NBA update. I waited till all the semifinals of each conference were after 4 games. That's why we're doing it here on a Tuesday, May 9th. Got my man Magic over here. Still holds the record for the most triple doubles in playoff history, which is the all-around player. And of course, he's played less than half the games of some of the other people who are coming up close to his number. A couple of things here today. A lot of good basketball stuff. A lot of bad firings. Firing Mike Bullenhoser. Like I said to you a couple of weeks ago, again, we've been so prophetic on this show about some of the things that have come up. Told you a couple of weeks ago that fans were not happy with them even the year they won. They were down 2-0 in a couple of series, and the lack of adjustments and the sloppy zone play and some other things. People weren't happy with them then, but they won, so you couldn't fire him. So he's out. Like I said, you saw Ujiri fired Nick Nurse. He's out. So we got some good coaches will be out. And firing this time of year is just a part of it. Not much you can do about it. It's a business today where there's even less loyalty than ever before. Just makes it weird that Bullenhoser's brother was died during the NBA playoffs, and but I know that's not their problem, but it really is a tough situation. Why not sit down with him a month later and talk to him about that and let him clear his head? But nope, it's not about that anymore. So I guess none of the players went to bat for him or anything like that. I'm sure if Giannis did, he would have been saved. But just a lot of things as we look at this series here, and some definite feelings out there and some definite talking points that we've talked about here that have come up big again. Again, the injury bug always biting. Some other narratives that the NBA likes to push that have blows up in their face. So we'll get to that, and we'll go down the road of series versus series here. So I guess we'll start with the Suns and the Nugs there. Let's take a look at this game tonight. Obviously, Game 5, the winner of Game 5 has won 85% of the series over the years in a 2-2 situation. This is a situation where it's, I've always talked to you about, I hate the narratives pushed in the NBA, and there's always like rooting for certain guys. Chris Paul is one of those guys that everybody's rooting for all the time. And, great player, no doubt, Hall of Famer, not a top 5 point guard of all time. And Phoenix looking better without him because the tempo is pushed. And now he's not the defender he was anymore. So, Booker can initiate the offense as he's done the last 2 games. Granted, Suns have shot the hell out of it. The series statistics here, like the Nuggets are a little bit better on the board, as you can see. So that's not really a shock. The points per game, negligible. Assists, negligible. Steals of game. The Nugs at home were a totally different team. The Suns just shot the living crap out of the basketball, shooting 49% for the series. And the other night, Booker and Durant and Joker put on a display that we haven't seen in quite some time. It reminded me of Dominique and Bird in '88. Booker was unbelievable. And you can take turns going to those 2 guys. It almost makes you wonder if you go a little triangle and 2 tonight. I know it sounds a little high schoolish, but it can still work for a time and throw people off. 3-point field goal percentage. Phoenix still not shooting well from there. Again, that would let you to a zone and maybe give you some better options there as far as defense goes. But coaches are always very hesitant to do that. Aaron Gordon has not played well in the 2 road games. Michael Porter Jr. has not gotten involved as much on the road. Both teams shooting really well from the free throw line. Booker getting 8.8 assists a game is really impressive. That's just something that you can't even believe at that point. Joker getting 9.5 assists per game. Rebounds, Durant's getting 10.5. Joker's getting 14 points per game. Just insane. Booker 36.3, Joker 36.5. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but we'd have to go way back to have a series where 2 guys average that. But I can't imagine it's too long ago. I mean, I'm sure Wilt was on one end of that, but I can't remember in my lifetime. I know Jordan's had a couple of series like that, but I don't know if anybody was matching him with him. We'd have to check the 93 finals, maybe with the Bulls and the Suns. I know Chuck had a great series that year. This series here, 2-2 tonight. And like I said, I've made my feelings known. I'm rooting for the Nuggets to win an NBA title. I've never won before, so I always like that angle. So I'm rooting for that. But if they don't pick it up, Pope has been good, but Pope's not, the supporting cast is always the old Hubie Brown theory, doesn't play as well on the road. But at the same time, got to play better defense. Coach Malone's been bitching about the stopping the ball in transition, and he's right. But really, it's more than that. Booker just hasn't missed. Booker, I think, is 33 of his last 44, 34 of his last 43 shots, I believe he's made, which is just an insane amount. He gets so good with his body, using his body to get people. He gives them the hip and bumps them off the spot and gets to his spot, and it looks so easy, but it's not. So Devin Booker really doing a fantastic job in this series. I still think Phoenix will lose in 6 or 7 games, but Denver tonight got to get game 5. The pressure shifts all the way back to Denver, and that's the tricky part for them. So now the pressure's on them tonight. We'll see if Phoenix comes out with reckless abandon. And like I said, it's really about Aaron Gordon and things of that nature. If you're Phoenix, you got to have hope because game 2, they made it an ugly game and they had a chance. So they did play a close game on the road. So we got to see how that works out. Going backwards here. So we got that going backwards. Got to click over here. And I'm going to go back to that bracket. Let's go over. We'll go down to the other series that last night. Lakers Warriors. Lakers up 3-1. A lot of narratives here. Now listen, Steph Curry is one of my favorite players of all time. I'm not a big LeBron James fan. Now I understand that Steph Curry is a much more likable player. I think he's more relatable to people. His game is more fun to watch. But for years, I've been telling people, please do not compare Steph Curry to LeBron James. And the last couple of games is a good reason why. Steph Curry played a great game last night, but again, 12 for 30. So his biggest attribute went cold last night. Great game on the board, great game on the assists, but he's really not exactly the same player as LeBron James. Steph Curry has, one way to beat you. LeBron James can beat you a bunch of different ways. And I'm telling you as a Curry fan, but please stop the comparison. There really is not a comparison. LeBron James is an all-around player. Sure, he's not the shooter or the flashiest player in the world, but LeBron James, if him and Anthony Davis just decide to sit on the block, there's nothing that the Warriors can do. And, they really do miss Looney. Looney, they said, has been sick. Looney's an excellent defender, but if they just punish them inside, I don't see how you're going to get around it. I was really surprised to see Lonnie Walker come up big last night, 15 points in the fourth quarter. Yeah, and sure, LeBron didn't have to drive the truck home. And I said this a couple of weeks ago on the NBA website, which some of the NBA fans don't understand much. He's more of a role player in this team. He's a great role player. So Anthony Davis is the better player, and right now, but he's not as consistent. So that's why LeBron, I'd still rather have LeBron. But on this team, they're going to go as Anthony Davis goes. And so that should scare the hell out of you if you're a Laker fan. But at the same time, really, really good series. Like I said, Steph, not the same player as LeBron. So let's please stop that narrative. Now, a couple of things here. Lakers, like I said, they win game 1. They jump on that game pretty quick. The fact that they're playing every other day like they did in the old days is really a better testament to how the struggles of an NBA final. The Warriors, believe it or not, are winning the backboard battle, which is really shocking. The assist battle, obviously, the Warriors are winning that. Steals, though, Lakers are ahead. Blocks, Lakers are ahead. Turnovers, Warriors still turning the ball over 14.8 times a game. That's a lot, and that's what I always say always hurts them. They get careless with the ball. Even in the years they've won the title, they're careless with the ball, and that's why I always say people try to compare them to the 90s Bulls. Well, ask yourself this. They ain't beating the 90s Bulls, and they're not beating the 80s Lakers either. 80s Lakers got 2 of the top 10 players of all time on the same team. Find me the other team that has that, and we'll talk. But again, it's the modern-day presentism, disparity, and unbelievable prejudice of the modern-day player. Bottom line is, they're not beating the 80s Lakers. Who's covering Kareem in that post? And Draymond's not doing it. Which leads me to point out Draymond's, again, 4 technical fouls in the first half of game 3 the other day. You got to grow up a little bit. It's very distracting to the team, and Draymond knows better. Lakers shooting 80% from the line. And here's the biggest gripe. I mean, here you are. You're the Warriors. You've been really good since 2015. And you're complaining about the free throw disparity. Well, your primary goal is to shoot threes all the time, and you have no patience to do anything else. You're not getting to the line. The Lakers, of course, are going to get to the line. They're shooting, like we said, 80% from the line. And that's going to be obvious. I mean, this is not a tricky situation here. Steph is averaging 25 a game. Clay 19 in the series so far. Wig 14.8. Peyton last night, 8 points. Pretty good job. The guy that's killing the Warriors is Jordan Poole. You invest all that money in him. He's just not this player that they thought. He's shooting 35% from the field. He's only averaging 19.6 minutes per game for him, which is low. You paid him basically $80 million. Got punched by Draymond Green. Draymond's doing his thing, but at the same time, got to get some more out of Looney. Looney's only playing 17 minutes. That really hurts them a lot. And, that's one thing I think that could change the series. If you can get a healthy Looney, for tomorrow night, I think they can maybe save their season. The Warriors will be very tough to get rid of tomorrow night. D'Angelo Russell's been pretty solid, so I can't complain about his statistics. D'Angelo is averaging 13.5 a game in the series, which is good. I'll tell you, the guy that has not gotten off yet at all has been, Vanderbilt's been bad. Hachimura hasn't really played. Austin Reeves has been really spotty too. He's shooting 37%. He's not being aggressive. D'Angelo Russell only shooting 43%, but has been aggressive. LeBron shooting 44%. But Anthony Davis doing a great job, 22 and 14 and a half for the series. Great job by Anthony Davis. And that's where you're at right here. But again, don't bitch about the free throws. At the same time, if you're not gonna get to the basket, Steph Curry is not going to the basket enough. Twice last night, stood up for 29 footers on a hot challenge. He's been getting to the rack and splitting that double team with a little crossover dribble. He's been doing a great job, but still not attacking downhill enough. Clay's been spotty. So again, I don't think they go enough to Wiggins, but that's just my opinion, and that's what the show's about. So it's okay that's my opinion. So that series is 3-1. I think the Lakers definitely got a stronghold, but that series is not over by any means. That's the problem right there. One of the series is 3-1. We got Knicks. We got Knicks Heat. I think this series, we could be in trouble here. If you're a Knicks fan here in New York, the Knicks fans are just so stupid, just complaining and screaming and bitching. Here you are, your first time in many years, you're in the second round. I think it's 10 years. And this team is giving you everything they have. It's just that Randall at the end of this game, as we talked about, he needs to basically play a different style in this playoff. We mentioned this way back, and Tibbs didn't pull the trigger. We talked about maybe putting Fournier in there. The Knicks are not shooting the ball well from three. Fournier could probably make a shot even when he perishes from this planet. He will still be able to shoot. But if you don't want to do that, you have to think about this. If Adebayo's got to play Randall, if Randall attacks the basket, there's no one to guard the big fella under the basket. You could throw lobs. He could be a great lob catcher. He's more than capable of being a lob catcher. All right. And the Knicks can definitely do that. Why can't we get the lob catching? Why can't we get that done? I don't see the big mystery here that we can't throw up lobs to Mitchell Robinson. And you could just dump it in there. He's going to have a guard on him. Jimmy Butler's not covering Mitchell Robinson too well. Maybe we get him in some free throw trouble. But for some reason, it's just a strategy that we won't do. Randall will not attack the basket. Randall almost looks like sometimes he says, well, it's my turn, which is a really dangerous thing for the Knicks. These series stats here are very jaded. They're not close at all. The other series, the stats are pretty close. Right here, we're not. Knicks are not even scoring 100 a game, which in the modern day NBA have no defense. That's really bad. Knicks are winning the board battle pretty consistently, losing the assist battle. The steals are tied. The blocks are about the same. Knicks 14 turnovers a game. That really hurt them the other night. Both teams only shooting 43%. The difference is the Heat are shooting 31% and 79% from three, for 79% from the free throw line. Knicks 28% from three. That is really atrocious. If you go here and you look at the stats, Rosie's in the booth here, having a good time down here on the floor. Rosie's looking for a raise. Brunson's playing 40 minutes. He's getting you 26.8 points a game, shooting 46%. Not shooting well from three. The Knicks are just not shooting the ball well from three. RJ Barrett, 42.3% from three. He's getting you his 22 points a game in the series too, but yet the fans just brutal. And here's Randall's numbers. So if you look at some Randall's numbers, the way the Knicks fans talk, you'd think the guy was a bum. He's getting 18.3 a game. He's getting 11.4 8 boards a game, 4.4 assists a game. Now he's turning the ball over a lot. But he's also shooting 44%, which is bad, but not atrocious. Josh Hart's got to shoot a little bit better. He's shooting only 39%. Quickly was hurt the other night. That hurt. Toppin and Grimes. Got to get some more out of Grimes. I don't think we're going to him enough. Robinson and Hartenstein are doing what they can. Like I said, I'd like to see Fournier get a shot here to make a jump shot if you're not. I mean, I just think that the Knicks fans are a little bit desperate here in New York. You just know growing up that New York fans are definitely some of the most annoying people and just unrealistic and talk about how we can't win and we got to make some changes in the offseason. This is one of those themes, again, I've talked about many times before. You got to be patient with these teams. You have gotten this team better. You need to mix and match from here on out. You don't have to blow up every time you don't win it. So, again, and you're grateful you're in the second round here because the Cavs just weren't ready yet. The Cavs will be a year better next year. So appreciate where you are. And think about the last 10 years, how bad it's been. But Knicks fans just cannot do that. They cannot appreciate the moment. It's really disgusting to listen to the radio these days about the Knicks. It's rough. It really is. It's tough to listen to. That series, though, like I said, I think the Heat are in pretty good shape. But again, Knicks got 2 of the next 3 at home if it does go 7. Sixers Celtics to me is the most interesting series left. The Sixers did something the other night. They looked death in the eye the other night, and to me, that changes a team. Teams don't become great teams until they look death in the eye. And this Sixer team and Doc Rivers teams over the years very much. Those Clipper teams were loaded. He did not. He underachieved in a lot of ways here with Philadelphia, I think. But this team stared death in the eye the other night. They're down 5 with 2 minutes left, ready to go down 3-1. I think Marcus Smart overstates his role in shots in the last moments, and Missoula's going to catch hell for not calling timeouts. Again, you got to get the ball to Tatum's hands, and I love Marcus Smart. He's one of my 5 favorite players in the NBA, and if I had 10 Marcus Smarts, you would never get a gray hair, coach. You just have you guys play hard. I love him. But his decision-making on the offensive end of the floor is he over-evaluates his self-importance on the offensive end of the floor, so the ball doesn't get to Tatum in enough time. Tatum makes the drive. He didn't get into their sets, and that's where you got to call timeout there. You get the ball advanced to half court, you get that couple extra seconds, take away a couple extra dribbles, and use it. And that's why you got to call a timeout there. And everybody says, well, don't you trust your players? It's not about trusting your players. It's about winning the game. If you got your best guy with the ball running down the court and the defense backpedaling in that situation, I've done this myself, I don't call that timeout. But at the same time, Marcus has the ball in his hands there. You got to get it into Tatum or Brown's hands right there, right away. Like pick and roll with Tatum and Brown. Got to use your timeouts there. Don't tell me it's about trust. Don't tell me it's about you want them to learn, because now instead of 2-2, it could have been 3-1. 3-1, that series is over. 2-2, we got a live dog, and the Sixers are feeling really good. Harden has had some great moments in the series, hit the big 3 the other night, but the biggest play of the night, they missed Brogdon. Brogdon didn't block out on the backside. And the old man for the Sixers, who has been on the Bucks, he's been on the Heat. Tucker gets the 3-point play, and that changes the game. And I also didn't like the sub of White for Brogdon down the stretch in the last minute and a half of that game. I think Brogdon's a much better player. He can get you into offense. White is a good player, but Brogdon is a point guard. And if you're going to have him or Marcus Smart initiate the offense, I'll take Brogdon over Marcus Smart anytime initiating the offense. I just think he has a better understanding of it. Series statistics: Celtics scoring 10 more a game and still 2-2 series, which is really wacky. Beating them on the board by 5, 8 more assists. This series, look at these stats. You can't believe it's tied. 2 more blocks a game, same amount of turnovers a game. And they're shooting 4% better. 38% from 3, Sixers 37% from 3. Both teams shooting 88% from the line. It's been amazing free throw stat series. When you look at Tatum, 24, 11 and a half, and 5 assists, playing a great game, shooting 47%. Jaylen Brown is shooting 57%. I think we got to get him a couple more shots per game. Really doing a hell of a job there. Brogdon has been good, 19.3 out of him, 15.3. White has been pretty good. Al Horford's been very good. But at the same time, got to find a way to get some more out of this here. That's a 6-man rotation there. Rob Williams, I thought Grant Williams. I thought Grant did not play enough the other night. But Rob and Grant between them, they definitely getting about 34 minutes a night. Definitely could be a big help on this team. Just don't think they're getting enough out of it at that situation. But I'd like to see him play a little bit more minutes. So right now they're playing really about 8 guys, and that's Rob Williams has been good, but at the same time, I still feel he deserves a couple more minutes. He's a good hell of a rebounder, and he could catch a lob for you, penetrate, and maybe just maybe Embiid helps up. We can get a couple easy baskets there. For the Sixers, part of the series, James Harden obviously 28.8, had a little bit of a rebirth, although he's had some awful games in the same series. He's had 2 40-point games in the same series. Iverson and Wilt, the only other 2 guys to do that. Joel Embiid, 26.3. Maxey, I don't think gets the ball enough. I really don't. I feel like they got to get more of him going downhill. You get him going downhill, he's the fastest guy in the NBA. 36.6%, I guess, is what the hell scares them the most. Tobias has been really good, 12.5. I don't think he's getting enough shots either. He's only getting 11 shots a game. I feel like they need to use him more. I think he's a mismatch on the other end of the floor. Tucker has been solid, of course, and Reed done a decent job off the bench, and so you have to give them a lot of credit. But it's going to be interesting. Game 5 tonight. Like I said, I think that Missoula's got to use the timeouts a little bit more. I feel like he gave that one away, but the Sixers are a dangerous team now because they stared death in the face. And if the big fella stays healthy, they're a live team tonight. Sometimes Boston floats in and out of this situation. For some reason, they didn't pick up Harden again full court like they did in Game 3. So hopefully, if you're the Celtics, you get back to Brown picking him up full court. I'd like to see Tatum get a little more involved. Sometimes he drifts around for 3 or 4 minutes without touching the ball. It's just not good enough. The Celtics need that killer instinct. I just don't see it all the time, and it's a situation where we'll have to see how that works. And we'll see if the Celtics are into it tonight from the start, and we'll see if they get
on offense in this game.
Yeah,
all right.
To
the Magic Johnson's interview after 1980.
certain plays, depending what play we call, I will be playing some center and
That's going to be all for
You have
playoffs
played
here.
every position this year, and it's been a remarkable season for you.
Talk about Magic's not triple double that night, 42, 15, and 7 as a rookie. Great job jumping center. So yeah, we're on iHeartRadio or on Twitter, Facebook, Apple iTunes, Spotify. Give us a listen. Let us know what you think. Great series so far. We got 2 at 3-1. Got a couple at 2-2. We'll be back this weekend with more. Until then, man, just watch these NBA games. Got double dip tonight. Should be exciting, although a little bit tired in the morning getting up for school doing that. But hang in there. Watch these NBA games. Have a great time. It's good basketball. I like to see a little more defense, a little more pick action, but we're not getting any of that, so we'll tolerate it. But take care of yourselves. Enjoy the games.